Paul would have made a terrible Southerner. What I mean is that Paul speaks directly and forthrightly, even if what he says is uncomfortable to hear. We Southerners, on the other hand, bend over backwards to spare others' feelings, and we do it sometimes by giving false reasons for doing what we do. Hello, I'm Stuart Baskin, pastor of First Presbyterian Church of Tyler, Texas. And this is your daily devotional for Wednesday, May 28th, 2025. How many times have we given someone a false or at least only half-true reason why we can't attend a party or some other event? One of my favorite seminary professors told me a story once about his father, also a well-known Presbyterian minister, who was in some demand for speaking. If someone called him to invite him to speak somewhere, and he didn't really want to do it, he had a trick. He would look at his calendar, and if he saw that the date was available, but he really didn't want to do it, he'd simply put a mark on the date on his calendar and then say, "I'm sorry, I have something on that date." It wasn't exactly a lie. There was something on that date, a pen mark. But it spared him the discomfort of having to say no for no particular reason, and it spared the caller the embarrassment of being rejected just because the man didn't want to speak at the caller's event. A very Southern thing to do. Paul had planned a visit to Corinth, but then decided against it. It would probably have been at least his third visit there. During his first visit, when he stayed for 18 months, he had organized the church there. He seems to have written a letter to them, as I noted yesterday, that he refers to in 1 Corinthians. This letter had apparently some hard words in it, which no doubt caused some hard feelings. After at least a couple of years away, he visited Corinth again. But this visit was tense, as we will read in today's passage. As a result, Paul, who had planned yet another visit, decided to cancel those plans, which no doubt caused more hard feelings among at least some of the Corinthians. Now, if Paul had been a true Southerner, he would have made up some plausible excuse for his change of plans. "Sorry," he might have said, "something's come up and I just can't make the trip right now." They and we would have been none the wiser. But that wasn't in Paul's nature to do. Instead, he addresses the issue forthrightly and directly. At the end of chapter 1 and the beginning of chapter 2, he writes, "But I call on God as witness against me. It was to spare you that I did not come again to Corinth. I do not mean to imply that we lorded over your faith. Rather, we are workers with you for your joy, because you stand firm in the faith. So I made up my mind not to make you another painful visit. For if I cause you pain, who is there to make me glad but the one whom I have pained? And as I wrote as I did, so that when I came, I might not suffer pain from those who should have made me rejoice. For I am confident about all of you, that my joy would be the joy of all of you. For I wrote to you out of much distress and anguish of heart, and with many tears, not to cause you pain, but to let you know the abundant love that I have for you." From what we can piece together, Paul had already written them about his decision not to come, and the church had apparently written him back with a message that we can reasonably infer from his passage accused Paul of being insincere or even duplicitous. From what Paul writes back, they thought he must have had some hidden agenda in making his change of plan. And while we obviously don't know the content either of Paul's letter telling him his decision not to visit, or their letter to him reacting to his decision, it is clear there were hard feelings on their part. In his response to them, Paul takes the difficult path, which also happens to be the high road. In a word, he's being brutally honest with them. And while honesty like this can be painful in the short term, it is the right strategy for maintaining healthy relationships in the long run. Sparing people's feelings from unnecessary hurt is certainly a good thing in some cases, but in the long run, being honest and forthright is the better thing. Knowing that we can trust each other to say what we mean and mean what we say is frequently more important than sparing someone's feelings by hiding the truth. Tomorrow, Paul talks about the source and basis of his hope. But for now, may God continue to bless you and keep you in all that you do this day and in all the days ahead.